Moonies, it is time for another edition of Watch Sailor Moon, Learn Japanese. So if you stumbled upon this video, I do have a part 1. This is part 2 in a series. So check out part 1 if you care about sequence, but if you just came here because you wanted to learn how to talk like a villain, stay tuned. So I'm going over scene 2 in, well, sort of scene 2A, 2B, in episode 1 of S of Sailor Moon Classic, so episode 90 overall of the entire series, episode 1 of season 3. And then this is episode 2, part 2 in my series where I break down this episode of Sailor Moon. Confused yet? Good. Anyway, let's get to the translation breakdown.
Kaorinaito-kun.
Hai, koko ni.
So this first line is very easy. Kaorinaito-kun. Kaolinite. So all of the villains in Sailor Moon are based off of minerals and rocks. So Kaolinite with an L instead of Kaorinite, just because it's based off of a mineral. You can look it up. And then the kun at the end. So if you're an anime fan, you probably know kun is usually a suffix used for boys, particularly younger boys or teenage boys. But it can also be used in this sense for colleagues. And Kaolinite is, Professor Tomoe's colleague. She's kind of also a scientist with him. So that's why he's using kun. It kind of sounds professional. It's also, I don't know, I don't think I've heard anybody in real life actually use kun in this way. But yeah, you'll see this happen a lot in anime if you have some kind of like professional or like science-y sort of character calling a female colleague by that name. Kaolinite answers, hai, koko ni. So, hai means so many different things. It does not just mean yes, it means here, it means coming, it means okay, it means lots of different things. So in this case, koko means here. So koko ni is not a complete sentence. The complete sentence would be koko ni imasu, or koko ni iru, which means like, I am here. Iru is the verb that means to be or to exist for living beings, and Kaolinite is a living being, so she would use imasu or iru to describe herself. So, yes, professor, I am here is like literally what that means, but that sounds weird. I don't know, you might say, yes, professor, I am here, but that's very long. Syllabically, she's just saying, hai, koko ni, so I subbed it as, yes, professor. Oh, this is a good place to insert. It didn't really apply so much in the last two subtitles, but I am providing localized subtitles in my little clips that I show. I'm breaking them down literally for you, but I'm showing you initially how they would localize finally to English to sound like good English versus to sound like it was translated. So that's why you're going to see as we move on with the rest of this video that my translations that I'm telling you and breaking down are going to be a little bit different from my localizations.
ついにダイモーンの卵は完成した。ダイモンは純粋な心を持つ人間を選び出し、その心を奪い取る。
Okay, ついに means like at last. Daimon. So Daimon, I actually looked this up just on Japanese Google to see what came up, and it's a play on demon, but the kind, if you've read his Dark Materials or Golden Compass, that series, it's really good, by the way, you should read it if you haven't, but it's spelled with like the upside down AE character, and it's pronounced demon, but in this case it's Daimon, but I don't really know exactly if that's supposed to be demon or a play on demon, but it's not like literally demon, D-E-M-O-N. I suck at spelling things out loud, but it's up there next to my face. Anyway, it's not literally that demon, like from hell, Satan's demons, but like the different kind of demon, like a mystical being kind of demon. It's either that literally or just a play on that, and I think it's the latter. I think it's just a play on that. So it's been translated in all of the fan and official translations as like Daimon. I don't think that's a good translation. I always thought it sounded weird and I was always confused by it. And as a subtitle, I think spelling the daemon like that with the AE, I think that just looks really, really cool. So that's why I subbed it that way. But yeah, Daimon. So the Daimon are the monsters of the day of this season of Sailor Moon. So Daimon no is a possessive, it's an apostrophe S, so the Daimons, tamago is egg, so the Daimon's egg. Ga is a particle that's kind of like is or was. Kansei shita, so kansei shita is past tense version of kansei suru, which is to complete. So Daimon no tamago ga kansei shita is the Daimon's eggs have been completed. And then Tsui ni is like at last. The demon eggs or the diamond eggs, the daemon eggs are complete. I think I'd make it daemon if I were like dubbing it. So daimon wa, so wa particle wa, think of it as for. So as for the daimon, he's kind of explaining something about daimons. Exposition. So daimon wa, as for daimons, junsui na means, it's an adjective that means pure. Kokoro is a heart or a soul. O motsu ningen. So ningen is a human. Junsui na kokoro o motsu. Motsu means to have or possess. So junsui na kokoro o motsu means possess pure heart. And then you add ningen after that. So possess pure heart is like an adjective or a modifier for ningen or human. So humans who possess pure hearts. O, so we're going to do a verb to the humans who possess pure hearts. And this verb is erabi-dashi. So erabi is the stem of erabu, which is a verb that means to choose. And then dashi is another stem of the verb dasu, which means like to draw out or to exit, among other things. Dasu or dashi is very frequently added to another verb stem. So erabu would just mean to select or choose. So daimons, as for daimons, they choose humans that have pure hearts. But erabi-dashi is kind of more like they seek, locate, and then like draw out and find the humans with pure hearts. So it's like a little more fleshed out than just they choose. Sono kokoro o. So sono in this case is referring to the former sentence that he was, or the former part of the sentence that he was saying. Sono means that in reference to like that thing that I was talking about earlier. So sono kokoro o, so their hearts, the hearts of those humans that have pure hearts that I was talking about in the first half of this sentence. So sono kokoro, their hearts. O, so a verb's going to happen to their hearts. Ubai-toru, so this is another super verb I call, where it's a verb stem followed by another verb. So ubai is the verb stem of ubau, which is to steal. And then toru is a verb that means to take, so steal, take. So ubai-toru, like steal it and then like keep it, take it. So the whole thought combined with the last sentence, daimon wa, as for daimons will find humans that are pure of heart and bring those hearts back to us. I kind of extended the steal and keep to bring the hearts back to us. Retrieve actually is another good translation for like ubai-toru, steal and retrieve. And I just added the back to us to just make it a little clearer. It's like, so it's not like the daemons are just stealing the hearts and then the daemons keep them. Yay! Like, what good does that do us? We want the pure hearts. So that's why I just added the back to us in my subtitle, even though it was not in the original translation.
純粋な心。
そう。この世を思いのままに支配できるという聖杯。
Kaorinaito says, junsui na kokoro. So these are all words I've covered before. Junsui na, pure, kokoro, heart. So pure hearts. And then Tomoe answers, so. So so means yes in this case. So desu would mean literally, it is as you say, basically. Is like literally what that means or what it's implying that it means. But it really just means yes or correct, exactly. Kono yo o. So kono yo means the world, this world. Omoi no mama. So omoi no mama ni means, omoi no mama ni, verb, means to do the verb at will, or the way that I want to do the verb. So at will. So omoi no mama ni shihai dekiru. So that's our verb. Shihai suru would mean to control, to rule over. But if you're changing the suru, which is simply to do, to dekiru, that means like the ability to do. So shihai dekiru means can rule, can control. So omoi no mama ni shihai dekiru means like to be able to control at will. Toyu, so the toyu is kind of like quotes. So is said to in a way. And then seihai, that means sacred chalice, holy grail. I don't really like holy grail because that harkens a little too much to like specifically King Arthur mythology. and this is like its own thing. This sacred chalice that is said to be able to control this world at will.
それは3つのタリスマンが揃う時に現れる。
それは, so again, he's just referencing, as for that, as for this sacred chalice, 3つのタリスマン. So 3つの means the three. Talisman is talismans. So the three talismans が揃う時. So 揃う means to like to gather, to assemble, like all in the same place. Collect, to be collected. So 揃う時 is the time when the three talismans are all gathered together in the same place. に現れる. So at the time when the three talismans are gathered in one place, 現れる, which means to appear. So it will appear, それ, as for the talisman, it will appear when the three talismans are all gathered into one place.
その3つのタリスマンは選ばれた人間の純粋な、すなわちピュアな心の結晶なのだ。
And then he's still talking about something he said before, so he's still using the soul. Sono, 3つのタリスマン. So as for those three talismans that I was talking about in the last sentence, その3つのタリスマンは選ばれた人間. So that was a phrase we learned before. 選ばれた means chosen. 人間 is human. So 選ぶ by itself is just to choose, but 選ばれた means was chosen. So chosen humans. No, so chosen humans, apostrophe s, 純粋な, pure, ... すなわち, and then すなわち means like in other words. So he's doing the Japanese word for pure, and then he says, in other words. So as for the three talismans, the chosen humans, 純粋な, ... in other words, and then in the next line, you're going to see why he was saying in other words.
純粋な、すなわちピュアな。
純粋な, ... in other words, pure. So he's like the Japanese word, and then, in other words, the pure in English, and the ピュアな心. Very, very common phrase. It's used in like every single episode of S, the third season. ピュアな心, so pure heart. I think they used ピュア instead of junsui because ピュア has slightly different nuances than junsui, and it just kind of sounds cooler since it is a gairaigo. It's not a Japanese word, so to them, ピュア or pure just sounds kind of cooler and more exotic and mystical than junsui. That's my theory. So ピュアな心, so pure heart. No 結晶, so 結晶 is like a crystallization. So a crystallization of their pure hearts. And then the nanoda, if you were a fan of Fushigi Yugi and you watched the fan subs like I did, you learned all about noda and nanoda. So, but if you've learned Japanese like in a classroom setting and through textbooks, you might know what ndes is. So if you're ending a sentence with just plain old desu, you're just making a statement. But if you end a sentence with desu, you're explaining something. And he's explaining something to Kaolinite. He's explaining like how the talismans work, how the daemons work, how the sacred chalice works. And he's explaining to us as well.
Thereby destroying planet Druidia and saving planet Spaceball. Everybody got that? Good!
But the nanoda is like it is a plain form version of des. So if you were saying this like a normal person, it would be ピュアな心の結晶なんです if you were a normal person. But since you're a villain and you're speaking like, behold, he shall return, like that's kind of what it gives. That's kind of the vibe that like nanoda gives this whole thing, because like normal people don't really talk like that. So nanoda is just like the plain and like weird old villainy types and maybe emperors and stuff like that. Characters on TV are a lot more likely to talk like this. Normal people do talk like that too. It's just kind of like, it's like normal people say things like, he shall return, but it's like, most normal people don't say that. Anyway, so it is the pure heart's crystallization, and I'm explaining this to you, Kaolinite.
つまりその選ばれた人間を見つけ出しタリスマンを手に入れれば
And then Kaolinite says, つまり, which also means in other words. And again, we're doing this for exposition's sake because a lot of the people watching this show are children and they're not going to understand necessarily what's going on. So we have to repeat this. So つまり, in other words. So you're saying, Sono erabareta ningen. So remember, erabareta ningen is the chosen humans. So sono erabareta human ningen, those chosen humans of which you speak. Wo, so we're going to do a verb to those chosen humans of which you speak. Mitsuke-dashi, so this is another superverb where you've got a verb stem combined with another verb stem. So mitsuke is the verb stem for mitsukeru, which means to find. And then dashi, again, erabi-dashi, mitsuke-dashi. So we're gonna find and like extract. We're not just gonna find them, we're gonna find them like out of everyone. Talisman wo te ni irereba. So talisman wo te ni ireru would be like the original verb. So te ni ireru means literally to get in my hand, but so to get, to acquire. And then irereba, if you're changing the ru to reba, that means if we get the talisman in our hands, literally, if we get the talismans.
聖杯よ、世界を手に入れることができるのだ。
And then Tomoe is finishing her sentence here because that happens a lot. It happens a lot in like Japan. Like actual Japanese people do finish each other's sentences, but it happens a lot in anime. So Tomoe is just going to kind of finish her sentence here. So if we get the talismans, ... And then Tomoe goes on. Seihai o, so the chalice, o, verb. So the verb, it comes first in English. So it's really annoying when you have this sort of thing where you're splitting up a sentence and like you have this noun and it's just chilling and you don't know what verb is going to happen to it, but you can't just be like, this noun, because that's not how we would say it in English. We'd say verb first. Anyway, the chalice, ... And I fixed it in my sub in a cool way. So the chalice, ... Nay, the world is ours for the taking. And he kind of is correcting himself here. So seihai wo, and then ... And then he's restarting that sentence over again. Not seihai wo, sekai wo. So sekai is the world. Te ni ireru, again, so there's that like get, it is ours. So sekai o te ni ireru. So sekai o te ni ireru means like to get the world. The world will be ours. Koto ga dekiru. So verb koto ga dekiru means this verb is possible. This verb is something that we can do. So getting the world in our hands is something that we can do. No da. So again, it's that desu if you're a normal Japanese person, but if you're a villain who kind of speaks like an emperor and wants to sound really cool, no da. So, 世界を手に入れることができるのだ. And then you laugh all evil. And I know that all of y'all are going to be busting out that phrase when you go to Japan. What will happen next? Find out in my next part of this series. I am going to go through this entire episode. One word at a time, one line at a time, and break down and explain what everything means. So hey, if you learn the dialogue in Japanese verbatim, word for word, and memorize it and memorize what it all means, then that's actually a lot of good model sentences in your head. Then you can plug in other words and construct your own Japanese sentences that way. Anyway, thank you to all of the patrons who support this series and all the other series on my channel. If you felt like all of that was whoosh whoosh over your head, I have series for learning Japanese for beginners. They're floating over my head. I've got a playlist for my Japanese beginner series, and there's a host of other videos on this channel about Sailor Moon if you're a Moonie, and other anime related and Japanese translating related stuff. Hope to see you in the next part of the series, and until then, 月の光は愛のメッセージ.